And list of most craziest things to happen at a WrestleMania. It's going to be played on that, isn't it, a dozen times? Nicholas, man, are we gonna possibly, if we're still around, mate, like be talking 30 years in time? The new Hall of Famer, Nicholas. Remember that night? Yeah, where they go from here, I have no idea. Is Nicholas going to be on the road with him? Does he have school to attend? I don't know. I'm guessing that this won't keep up forever. I loved some of the wicked fans that we have out there. They've got a good sense of humour, especially on our podcast, because they kept sending a bit. There was stuff where there was like he's failed the drug policy test. He's been eating those cereal bar things. Like he's not passed the wellness policy. So yeah, already people having fun with that. Sheamus and Cesaro, I mean, I don't know who got it worse, really, them or Braun, but they lose the belts as well, Matt. And Braun, I know it makes Braun look super strong, but is this really where we want him to be, Matt, in terms of how over he seemed to be getting last year on WrestleMania? I mean, yeah, people would say, well, he was on second from last at least, but yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, it's not exactly where I was hoping he would be. He's just he seems to be involved in nearly every comedy angle going. Is that really? I mean, okay, it gets a big reaction, but is that what you want this guy's legacy to be? They call him the monster among men. I mean, come on, he's out there to make people
The
laugh.
thing is, as well, like they say that about the Beast. Like, would Brock Lesnar do something like this? No. Would they ruin him? Would they say, "Oh, you got to be in a Christmas thing. You're going to dress up"? He ain't going to do that because it destroys the character. So I don't know why Braun Strowman gets this nonsense. It really does hurt him as a performer. Oh my god, we got to actually rate this thing. I just forgot. What do you give this? I give this 1 star.
Yes, equal my thoughts there. I was going straight one. I mean, this is terrible. This is insulting to Sheamus. I mean, look what he's done at WrestleMania. And you give him this, oh man.
Yeah, so I was, the only thing I was thinking could be worse is if Nicholas actually gets in there and starts putting some moves on Sheamus and Cesaro. I was like, but Nicholas actually made it a little bit more realistic than Shane did on the night because he didn't want to get in the ring, so that would have made sense. But yeah, I knew it was a plant. There was no way that kid was real. I had so many emails coming in. Is that kid real? Like, oh my god, I wish I was there and that could have been my kid or that could have been me. I was like, there's no way. Not a million. Not with America and the lawsuits. There's no way that kid has just been taken out of the crowd like that. And like, especially when he walked off backstage. Where's his family? No, you're coming with me now. I was like, he'd be arrested. Braun Strowman would be arrested as soon as he gets out. Where do you think you're going with that kid? You know what I mean? Like, come on. So no way did I buy that was genuine. I knew that was a plant, 100%. But, yeah, it's different. It got a little bit of a spot reaction. But again, for me, it doesn't do much for Braun Strowman going forward. And the strange thing is now, Matt, how long is this going to go on for, do you think?
Hopefully not long.
Yeah, Nicholas, the new face of the WWE, perhaps. Who knows? But nothing against him. Obviously, he's, if I was that kid, I'd have loved to have done that. Don't get me wrong. So, can't knock him for it. But what a weird move for WWE to do. Wrong guy to do that with. They could have done that with anyone else. If it was like the New Day or something, I'd buy that. But not this. Now. Anyway, okay, well, we was already through a night of shocks and all the rest of it, and we get to what is the main event, Matt. And like I said, all the listeners, all the emails were coming in mainly about this match, Matt. And I mean, first off, the promo gets played. Roman Reigns, typical Roman Reigns reaction. I felt nothing changed really for me. What about for you, Matt? With the reaction of the fans when he come out, like, I know that they probably thought to themselves, "Yep, we've cracked it." But for me, it was just the usual. Yeah, there were some cheers. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't. This wasn't Daniel Bryan babyface type reaction, was it?
Yeah, no, it was still the fans. They've locked their minds into what they think about this guy, and it seems like now, no matter what happens, it's not going to change the way people think about it.
Yeah.
I believe now that even if he did do this heel turn that everyone keeps going on about, they still wouldn't like him.
Yeah, but anyway, Brock Lesnar comes out. He's all guns blazing. We get the Paul Heyman stuff in the ring, and yeah, the match happens. Now, talking about the fans, Matt, I don't know what I think about this, but I felt like people have been saying this match was awful, mainly because they were shocked at the result of it and whatnot, or maybe they weren't. I don't know. Jimbo is absolutely having a party, by the way. Jimbo's the most happiest of the bunch. He's throwing a party. So are most people, actually, on our listeners. But then I'm hearing outside of our podcast, and I'm reading up on other sites that people are really legitimately pissed. But at the same time, I'm like people say this match it wasn't good and everything else, and I'll say I don't think it was as good as the first one, but I felt like fans really crapped on it as well, like that were there. I felt like they were CM Punk chants. Those man, I'll tell you one thing: if I'm there and I see those damn beach balls, be prepared. I'll probably go and do something to you. Like the fact that they kept coming out, Matt. I mean. It was almost like WWE should have, every time they put a beach ball away and took it off of some guy, they should have done it at the moment Brock was actually getting in his moves, and it would have gone with the TV when you was watching it. The right reactions. But yeah, hearing boos and cheers when they finally got it away from the security. I mean, the pictures and video things flying around the internet are, it's crazy. There were about 8 going on at one time, Matt. I don't know if you've seen any of them, but they were just chucking them around, and yeah, the fans just were not into this by the time it happened. Were you surprised about that, Matt, or was you not surprised? Because in a way, Matt, WWE. The thing is, here's the thing: I don't know if I should blame the fans or WWE, because WWE purposely kept saying, "Well, Brock's off, Brock's going. He ain't, he ain't showing up, and you should boo him like WrestleMania 20," and they crapped over that match. So I don't know who to blame the most here. Is it WWE or is it the fans that were there? I mean, if you don't like the match, for me, just get out of there. But like, I did find it a little bit disrespectful. I felt sorry for Roman, in fact, and I don't think Brock gives a really. He don't give a damn what people cheer or boo him. To be honest with you, he just gets in, does what he does, and goes. So I don't think he's bothered. But for Roman Reigns, I felt like a little bit sorry for him. But it hurt the match, and I did feel fans crapped over it a lot. Now, before we get to the ending of this match, Matt, because I know that's probably the bigger talking point, the match itself, what did you think about it, and what did you take from the fans' reaction? And was it just was it due for them, or did you think it was a little bit harsh?
This is so difficult. I'm probably going to get hate again. I'm not Roman's biggest fans or anything, but I was enjoying WrestleMania up until this point. I personally was having fun, enjoying it, and if I was in that crowd and that audience right there, everybody there would have ruined it for me.
Yeah.
I come here. It doesn't matter what the main event is. This is the show.
Mm-hmm.
Sit here and watch it, or go home.
Mm-hmm.
If you're that bored, you're going to chant. You're bored. You're going to bring out beach balls. You're going to chant CM Punk, who, by the way, doesn't. He's not interested. He doesn't care. He ain't listening.
Yeah.
He ain't coming back. He might do one day, but you can chant for him all you want. But the fact is, there's a guy in that ring who's taking suplexes. This is a stiff match. He's getting beaten up. He's bleeding for wrestling, for your entertainment, and you don't care. I mean, you can hate Roman. That's the point. That's your point. That's the point of wrestling. You can do that, but you should, if you're going to stay there, you should enjoy the moment. You should not try and just. It's almost like the opposite of the Yes Movement. You're hijacking the show for the opposite reasons, just to crap on.
Yeah, I felt it really sucked out anything from it, and yeah, I mean, they certainly wouldn't have done it last year when The Undertaker and Roman did it, but is that because The Undertaker's it? I don't know, but I think WWE might have made a big mistake, because at least if you don't like Roman, you would have had Brock to cheer, but then knowing Brock is definitely going, and the way WWE played it, it was almost like there's only one winner and the fans had already given up before. It was almost like the fans said, Shinsuke's not won. This is definitely happening because there's going to be a title change. They've gone with this whole thing, and it's almost like they had it preset in their mind, Matt. And it's I don't know, is it WWE's fault because of it, at least if you'd have had Brock like at a 50-50 and there is a chance of him winning, the fans could have maybe cheered everything he was doing, but it was like they just didn't care. I mean, and I thought Brock actually worked a really physical style match. Like, he looked blown out. I mean, he looked like he was working his socks off. And you say what you say about Brock. I know fans say, well, he's a part-timer, he don't care, he's not there enough. But at the same time, when Brock Lesnar performs, I always think he gives 100% to his character. I've always enjoyed his match. Go and watch AJ Styles' match with Brock Lesnar. You know this guy can work. I have no problems. I am a bit of a Brock fan. I'll admit that. But at the same time, I think he gave it, I think he put in a lot of effort for it last night. And yeah, like you said, Matt, those suplexes, especially on the damn floor, they were... one of them especially, looked like Brock didn't get him up enough. And I thought Roman had come down on his neck a bit too heavy. But they looked stiff as hell. And the only thing I didn't enjoy about it was the amount of finishers going on. I was like, how many? The F5 count got a bit crazy towards the end for me. Like, once it got to 5, I was like, Jesus. But that's what made me think, my God, they're doing everything they possibly can here to make this, try and get this to work. Matt, I'm going to put it to you. New Orleans again throws out a Brock Lesnar moment of shock. I said on the preview this would be the biggest shock of the night if Brock retains, and it happened. What happened there, Matt?
It's crazy, isn't it, to think about it? They kept that really hush-hush, and that's good of them. But like you said, everyone had made up their mind that Roman was going to win, and it's almost a case of be careful what you wish for. Because you've got Brock as your champion now, but you can look forward to whenever you might see that Universal title defended again, because it won't be for quite a while now. So I'm guessing that's why Seth Rollins is the Intercontinental Champion now, because you're at least going to get someone that's going to defend the belt.
So this is the weird thing, and logically, just the booking sense. So we said on the preview, this has taken up both investments in the last 4 years. You'd say, Matt, that I think it's clear that 1 and 2 of the most protected people on the roster, I don't know what order they come in, but you'd say Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns are at the very top, right? Of most protected guys on that roster. So you've seen Brock, take the Undertaker's streak. Roman Reigns was set up for the Royal Rumble the year after to go in and face him. They pulled the plug. They pulled it from underneath you that night because they didn't want it to happen. They felt it was maybe too early. The year later, they tried it again with Triple H. Obviously, they didn't feel it come off well enough, for that. Then you get Brock, getting that Universal title back against Goldberg in a manner of, real squash style towards last year's WrestleMania. Holds the belt for a year. Roman Reigns defeats The Undertaker. He defeats John Cena. Whole list of names, And by the way, Brock Lesnar had John Cena as well. So you see all this investment in 2 guys, Matt. And like we said, it was 2 forces coming together. I am absolutely amazed that they have done this. I'm not a Roman fan, and believe me, I don't want everything cooped up in Roman, because I just think I don't mind Roman as much as everybody else. But then again, I think there are other people out there that spot could go to, and that they should have tried by now, including Braun. But for all that investment, Matt, you feel like last year, every time I've tried to think, why have they made this decision? I think to myself, oh, that's because Roman's got to win it at WrestleMania. That's because the sacrifice. And I'm like, we've done all this all year. And what does it say to the Roman Reigns now, Matt, when he's lost to Brock Lesnar? Where does he... you talk about Shinsuke Nakamura. This is more odd than that for me, because this, for Roman Reigns, all that stock has gone. It's Brock Lesnar now. So, what? So am I to assume now, Matt, that Roman Reigns isn't the guy? After all that with the